Hello everyone and welcome to Divine Debut. This is your Astro update. Today being the 28th of January of 2021. Okay, I have the chart at 0 Aries so that it can help you look at the chart as it is logically, where at 0 Aries, just so that you don't get confused. Okay, I think it's simpler like that for people to understand. Let's look at what's going on in the sky. Okay, because we're at a very important moment where we're having a full moon happening in the sign of Leo, as you could see here. Let's go to the time. Let's go forward a little bit so that the moon could be at roughly the same degree. Well, the sun is at 9, so let's look at it in this way so that you could understand that obviously the sun is transiting through Aquarius, which is the natural 11th house, and the moon is right opposite. That's how we get the full moon. So a full moon in Leo, obviously it will affect mainly the fixed cross, and when I say fixed cross, the 4 fixed signs, which are Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. So think about the degrees. I mean, it's practically at 10 degrees. So if we split the month up to, 30 days roughly has 1 month, and so does a sign, a zodiac sign. So the first 10 days, if you're in one of those fixed signs, either Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Taurus, and you're probably at the end of the first 10 days, because each sign is split up in 3 decans. So you were born, let's say, with having sort of the first third of the sign. That's where your birthday is. That's where your personal planets are roughly. So around there, around the beginning of those fixed signs, you will be mostly affected. Okay, so think of a few degrees before or after. So if, let's say, Leo, think of Leo, because it doesn't only affect Leo, of course, this will affect all the 4 fixed energies, but everyone on a whole, mostly those 4 fixed signs. So think of those 4 fixed signs as being the main people that will be affected by this full moon, and a full moon is a culmination, an ending, and a full moon is where we see that the moon receives all the light from the sun. So there's a lot of light where there was darkness. So there's a culmination and a completion point of something. What is Leo? Leo is children, it's creative pursuits, it's risk-taking, it's children. So the house of Leo is all about fun, it's all about generosity. Think of Leo as being the leader, the king. Okay, so there's something in relation to the Leo matters that is ending. Now, always with a full moon, we will be more stressed out. A full moon is always, just like the tides of the sea are affected by the moon, so are we, as we're made up of water, 60-70% water. So it can be quite stressful, especially for those people that I've spoken for, the 4 signs. So they could be a little bit aggravated, stressed out, frustrated. It can mean all those things. But everyone has got Leo in some point in their natal chart. So for those of you that are familiar with your own natal charts, then you should know that in the area of Leo, where is that in your own personal chart, right? So that's how we figure this out and how it works. Anyway, why there's going to be stress here, not only is it a full moon, but as you could see, we've got squares from this full moon over to Mars and Uranus, which both, they've conjoined recently, and they can be very stressful, as I've mentioned. There's been earthquakes. Remember, Taurus is the earth, it's an earth sign. So there's been earthquakes, tremors all over the world. Remember that Uranus in Taurus can speak of money. So money fluctuating, changes, tower moments where our values are concerned, if there's no value in where we are. If Taurus is a money house, right? It's a money house naturally. But it also speaks of those five senses. How do we feel loved? Do we feel provided for? Is there value where we are with what we do for work? There is a stress here, a tension with a square. Something needs to change. We need to turn a corner. We need to tweak something. And that's why, it's going to be a stressful full moon. As also, Uranus and Mars, they are also squaring over to the Sun, to Jupiter, and Jupiter expands on everything it touches. Now, the beautiful news here, which is, it's meant to be the best transit of the year when Jupiter conjoins with the Sun. It's meant to be, but it is in a difficult aspect to Uranus and Mars this year. So, of course, the blessing here with the Sun and Jupiter would be mainly, especially for Aquarian people. But because there is a square, and if you're an Aquarius out there, your ruling planet Uranus is squaring over to, it's sort of like a wet blanket or some extreme. Remember that these two together are not easy. Remember that we've spoken about Mars, that Mars can be anything to do with sharp objects. It's, very stress related because Mars wants to move forward in Taurus. It's a little bit stuck there. Doesn't work well in Earth. But Uranus as well, not happy in Taurus. Both these two are not happy. So they want to move forward. Air is all about movement. It's not heavy like Earth is. So both are not happy and they're squaring over together over to the Sun and Jupiter, which these two conjoining are beautiful, but there's a bit of a challenge associated with it. So where there is, let's say, really good news in anything to do for everyone, this is in relation to Aquarian matters. Aquarius is groups and associations. It's anything to do with science, wishes and fulfillments, friendships. This is also the house of earned income after career, which is the 10th house. So that's how we see this connection here. And remember that Saturn is not far off as well. So not an easy conjunction, especially with this T-square here. And as I always say, this is pressure building with a full moon. So it can be very irritating, stressing, where Aquarian matters. Remember, Aquarius is groups and associations, friendships, being part of a bigger group. Whereas Leo is all about wanting to create something and bring it to the world. I want to take the lead. Remember that Leo is all about leadership. There's a lot of generosity within Leo as well, but with this opposition here, it's like I'm not able, because there's a square here, I'm not able to create something and I'm going to rebel, I'm going to revolt if there's no value in what I'm creating, let's say. Fifth house matters, romance, fun. There's no fun here, so I need to do something. Or something will be shown, obviously, with this full moon. Something will be shown that needs to be shown to us, and therefore, a culmination comes through. a change. Now, just looking at the chart here with the nodes that have started now to move, as you could see, the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sag, that have been stuck on that 19th degree for a couple of months now. It could even be 3 months. It's been so long. And they've been squaring over to Neptune. So they're starting to break away now. Remember the illusion that's been going on, the lies, the deception, not knowing what is real and what is not, what is fake and what is true. Neptune can be very much of an illusion, being confused. Those rose-colored glasses are starting to fall away. Okay, so how I see this is that with this full moon, where someone's going to be, or everyone in a certain area of life are going to be forced to see the truth. And when the truth is being shown with this explosive T-square, which does remind me of a volcanic eruption, someone's going to be stressed out and they're going to take the action because someone has been quite complacent, okay? And this build-up of stress and energy is going to bring in that tower moment, that change that needs to happen, an awakening of sorts, I would say. And of course, this full moon is in good aspect to relationships, to Juno, which is the asteroid of relationships. And Juno is heading up to the South Node. Remember, South Node in Sag is we need to let go of those past outworn beliefs, those truths. We need to stand in our truth. And what was our truth, maybe we need to let go of, because the South Node is very karmic. So with the nodes now having moved from, and left that 19th degree, or sort of on the way to doing that, matters of karmic relationships around commitments, matters of truth. Remember that Sagittarius is the truth, it's law, it's my truth, it's my philosophy. So philosophy is all about, it does remind me of the hermit. We've been in that cave of ours, growing spiritually, emotionally, physically, through all the challenges of what's been happening in the world and in our own personal lives. Remember that the North Node is where we should be looking at. So what is your North Node? We've got the North Node in Gemini, and Mercury is preparing everyone to retrograde, which will happen on the 29th. Let me show you, first I want to show you here, we've got Venus and Pluto conjoined in the sign of Capricorn. So a transformation that's happening, but remember also that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and these degrees here, 25, 24, up until the 22nd degree, is what's been going on since 2020 with all those big malefic planets. Pluto, Saturn, Mars moved over this area, Mercury moved over this area, and I have been mentioning that with Venus moving over these degrees, it can be a little bit of tough love, but also a transformation where our values, our love relationships, our work, remember Capricorn is work, it's also the elder, the wiser. There's a growth spurt here and a transformation with Venusian matters happening now as Venus is slowly getting ready to soon move into Aquarius. So this is happening right now as I'm doing this reading, in about 10 hours. So by the time you watch this, it's probably going to be exact. The Sun-Jupiter conjunction, which is a blessing. And I'm going to say whatever needs to change is the blessing. So it could be a blessing in disguise that you don't know is happening. Even though you could be stressed out around this full moon, there is a blessing happening here. And it's very much about the future. That's what Aquarius is. Remember, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, Mercury will be retrograde in 2 days. So let's just move forward. As we can see, Mercury is at 26, still moving direct in Aquarius. Mercury loves to be here because, of course, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and they're very similar in the sense that Mercury is the left brain. It's all about the way we speak, the way we communicate. Okay, it's the messenger, and Uranus is the right mind. It's communicating truthfully. Remember that Aquarius is all about the truth. It's having that higher vision, looking, watching the world from the ethers above. And so Mercury is ready to retrograde. Let's see, here we are. So at the 26th degree, Greek time, 30th of January is when Mercury will retrograde. So in the Northern Hemisphere, you can Google it, I suppose. Google the time difference so that you know in your own country when Mercury is retrograding exactly. But around the 29th, 30th, depending, of course, on where you are. So Mercury is traveling through Aquarius, and we're going to see that there's going to be a lot of Aquarius energy. By the 11th of February, everyone, there's going to be 6 planets in the sign of Aquarius, but I will come back with another astro update so I can show you that, and that's going to be a very interesting time. Now, Mercury will be retrograding. So from the 11th degree, it started to station. The 11th degree is where Mercury will move back to, and then station to turn direct. And of course, that will be happening over Valentine's Day. So a lot of important work that needs to be done. And with Mercury retrograde, remember, there could be misunderstandings, things could break down, any gadgets, electronic. Mercury is also the internet, as is Aquarius. So we could have also the internet dropping. Aquarius is also very electrical. So electricity blackouts, anything like that could happen. And the sun, of course, is on the 30th of January, will be at the 11th degree, which will be exactly squaring Mars. So remember that the sun is the soul, it's the ego. The sun is not strong in this position because it rules Leo. So Mars is not strong here either. So it's like we're wanting to move forward, but we're not able to. We need to do the work before we can move forward. And how I see it is more so, it's not about moving forward, it's about doing the work. What work? Work that needs to be of value. Okay? Work that needs to be of value. We're looking at if there's value in our the groups we deal with, the people that are around us, the big those big friendships, are they feeding our soul? Is there value in that? So that will be happening in about 4 days. And of course, Venus is at the 27th here. So she is moving, she's ingressing into Aquarius on the 1st of February. So she's much lighter, obviously, in Aquarius. Remember that Capricorn is quite heavy. Even though Capricorn, the good thing with Capricorn is that because it's Saturn ruled, it's like doing the work for something that is long-term, something that is based in reality. Here, Venus is more about friendships, more about communication, futuristic things. Remember, creating something within a group that could be very different, very eccentric. Aquarius likes freedom. So there's the freedom of thought, the freedom of speech, the freedom of everything that we love. Remember also that Saturn also rules Aquarius, but it's more so now ruled by Uranus. Not to say that Saturn doesn't rule Aquarius, but it's not as heavy here. So we have not seen, let's go on to the 11th just for a moment. Let's go on to the 11th here, where this is going to be obviously a new moon in Aquarius. I will come back and speak more about this, but as you can see here, we've got so much Aquarian energy on the 11th of February. And this hasn't happened since 1962, everyone. So I don't know what was going on in the world. You can Google it. You know, what was happening in your country in 1962. There's like a revisiting or a that will be happening again. Similar energies on the 11th of February. Anyway, I think I will leave it there for the time being. I do hope that this gave you a little bit of clarity. Let's go back to the now. One last thing that I just wanted to mention is that Chiron in Aries is trining over. Well, the moon is it moves very quickly. Remember that open wound where self-worth is concerned, but HEIR is at, she's also, you know, the asteroid of health. She's also at the 9th degree. So there could be health matters that will be shown, that will be coming up. And this could be, remember what I was talking about the stress, and that, you know, there's a lot of pressure with this full moon. So just try and relax. Try not to let your pressure go up. If there's something that you're dealing with, just take a breath. Try and relax. Try and spend a bit of time meditating if you can, doing a little bit of exercise, or just anything that maybe relaxes you, okay? So everyone, I will leave it there. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I want to wish you well with whatever's going on, and I will catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for your support, and I'd love to hear your comments. Always, I read your comments. Thank you so much. Love and light.